Summer's here, and with weekend getaways, celebrations, and more on your calendar, Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From playful prints and breezy fabrics to 70s-inspired looks and bright handbags. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Reformation, Veronica Beard, Farm Rio, Levi's, and more. It's easy too, with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Plus, Nordy Club members enjoy free 2-day shipping on thousands of items in select areas. Shop today in stores and at Nordstrom.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
To get the Crime Writers on After Show right now, go to patreon.com/partners in crime media.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie, and this is Crime Writers On. Crime Writers On is the original true crime review podcast that digs into true crime, pop culture, other podcasts, and on this episode, the daughter of a serial killer is recruited to solve his final murder and free a man from death row. We'll talk about Happy Face on Showtime. Joining me to get that done and more is true crime author, TV journalist, and host of These Are Their Stories podcast, my husband and love of my life, Kevin Flynn. Hi, Kevin.
I always love it when people say that a woman should just need to smile a little more.
Yes.
And everything will be fine.
That's right. Just smile. Just
smile, little lady.
That's right.
Exactly.
Also with us is private investigator, certified pet detective, resident cat lady, and author of The Final Curtain, Laura Bricker. Hi, Laura.
Hey, Rebecca.
And finally, our captain of all things cynical, author of the City Trilogy of novels, host of Rip Current, Strange Arrivals, and our Patreon Deep Dive Book Club podcast host, Toby Ball. Hey, Toby.
Hey, Rebecca.
So, Kevin?
Yes.
This is Monday's program.
Tis.
What's coming up on Thursday's show?
Hey, on Thursday, we have a sequel to one of the best podcasts of all time. I think we can all agree. We're going to talk about season 2 of Bone Valley.
All right. Kevin, you know your mom's been texting me all day.
Oh, no. What? Am I in trouble?
No. Your mom is watching the Karen Reed trial.
Oh, my goodness.
As I said to you, now we have something in common besides you.
I didn't even think you had that in common.
No, I
really,
love your mom a lot. It's like, but I think it's fair to say that we don't usually text about stuff happening in the news.
You have different interests. Like you're not, she's into baseball, you're not into baseball.
Exactly. We're both into football, which is fine.
Well, now you are. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's definitely like, oh my God, Auntie Bev today is making me crazy.
Judge Bev, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun. I can't wait to see her for the next holiday so we can talk all about it.
Oh, well, we've got graduations coming up, so.
Oh, that's true. That's true. This past weekend, as this drops, Teddy will have officially walked his graduation for Keene State College. We're very excited for him.
Yes, and I guess it's rain or shine, so.
It's going to be miserable.
So you'll be happier for him if it shines.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No happy face on that one.
All right. So we talk about that thing that we're supposed to be talking about?
Let's talk about that.
We have to.
Oh, by the way, Laura, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back.
Thank you.
I barely noticed
Thank
you
you
were gone.
Yeah, Suzanne Rico did a great job.
Everyone was like, Laura? Laura who?
No,
she went to Cocaine Island. She's never coming back.
We miss you when you're gone, but Suzanne was a good sub, and I think we should have her back someday.
Yeah, more people asked about what happened to Cat of the Week.
Oh.
I said, sorry, we didn't.
Well, I'll tell you, I saw a lot of cats on my trip in Puerto Rico and over to Culebra, and no shocker, I got very invested in saving some of the cats and actually reached out to a feral cat group and got into a whole thing with the management of the place we were staying. So
Save it.
Yeah.
We're talking about it in the after show.
Absolutely. All right. Toby's really excited to talk about this TV program. So should we get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Leading off.
This is true crime. She's makeup.
And yet earlier today, the happy face killer called his show and said he had information about a murder.
What?
Apparently, Mr. Happy Face made it clear there were only 2 people here that he would talk to. Myself and Melissa here.
TV makeup artist Melissa Reed is trying to keep a family secret. Her father is the infamous Happy Face killer. But Keith Hunter Jesperson lures her back into his life with a startling confession. A man in Texas is about to be executed for a murder he committed.
You're saying I'm the one who wants attention?
No, what I'm saying is that
You're still my little girl. Digging in my pockets for treasure. That's why you're here.
No, I'm not here for you.
We're here for the truth, Keith.
Melissa and a TV producer look for evidence Jesperson killed Heather Richmond to exonerate her boyfriend Elijah. While those around the Reed family grow increasingly fascinated by their ties to a serial killer, Melissa struggles with what the crimes of her father say about her.
What if I'm like him?
Is that what you're afraid of?
I'm just scared. I'm just so scared that I came from him and he just seemed so normal, and then there was this side of him that was just so dark.
And you worry that you have that too?
Sometimes.
Annaleigh Ashford and Dennis Quaid star in Happy Face from Showtime and Paramount Plus. The series is inspired by the podcast of the same name, but takes its reimagined characters into a fictional murder mystery. It also attempts to make a statement about our attraction to true crime and the lingering trauma of victims and their families. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about plot points from Showtime's Happy Face. So if you want to remain spoiler-free, go to the estimated time code in our show notes for our thumbs up and thumbs down reviews. So Toby, the opening card of this show says based on a true life story. What were you expecting when you saw those words, based on a true life story?
I don't know how that's different than based on a true story. I don't know.
Did it say based or inspired? But they used the term
that's right.
inspired
by a true life story. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Bad note. But it's also like true life story. I mean,
they're couching this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems really colloquial. But yeah. So when it said inspired by a true life story, I was like, okay, we're off to a bad start. A. And B, this is going to have nothing to do with the actual Happy Face killer.
Yeah. Toby, when you looked at Dennis Quaid playing Jesperson, were you able to divorce him from his election-denying points of view? Or is that all you could see when you watched him in this role?
Is Dennis Quaid an election denier?
He is.
I didn't realize that.
Super
well,
problematic
that fits
now.
right in with everything else, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think what's funny is I think he was the best part of the whole thing, but he wasn't even really that good.
Oh.
Excuse me?
Every time a woman took her last breath, you got presents. Time with Daddy. I needed to be around you after, because it kept me out of the darkness.
I was wondering if I was like completely missing something, because I was like, literally anybody could play this role. But because it's Dennis Quaid, like you have some feeling that maybe this is like
going to be good,
something to do with prestige.
No, he can't get work except for playing Reagan in that propaganda movie.
Yeah, and it was horrible.
Do you know who he looked like to me, Toby?
Who?
He reminded me of like the Joker in like the old Batman movies.
The OG.
He had like this kind of crazy Joker face. I'm like, he's just like smiling like crazy Joker man. Like he was like a caricature of a serial killer.
He was, with the glasses and everything, even the serial killer glasses. So Laura, this says it's based on this true life story, but like me, you did some Wikipediaing and found out that this was almost completely fictional, including the name of the main character.
Right. Everything.
Except for the Happy Face killer himself. It was like a real guy and they used his real name. I don't know why they did that, considering everything else was fake, right?
Well, that was my whole thing. I'm like, this was kind of bullshit, because if this was a legitimate dramatization of a story about this girl, you know, coming to terms with her father being a serial killer and reestablishing contact with him, first of all, the whole setup was just fucking ridiculous with like, oh, come to the office. We need to talk to you.
I have absolutely no idea.
Really? He says he's been writing to you for years.
Oh, God. Are you one of those women who falls in love with serial killers? And now we have to cover her? Because there's... Oh, no. No.
The one part that I was really kind of more pissed off about this not actually following a true to life story was this whole plot line with Elijah. Like, I was like, okay, we have a legit wrongful conviction thing. I'm like, I don't remember that from the podcast, but I mean, I hated that podcast, so I know there was something.
There was a couple in Florida who were convicted who he actually killed the people, but it wasn't Texas, because this Texas thing was absurd.
This was totally like fabricated. And I was like, why even say this was based on a true story? Just make a fictional show, because that would be less irritating than taking an actual case, not following anything really remotely similar to the case aside from the father and daughter. Just,
You don't think Melissa and the real life TV producer who was supposed to be Ivy Campbell in this became Nancy Drews and solved mysteries?
No.
Ken, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, again, Inspired is doing an awful lot of work in that sentence. But you're right. I mean, I think that why someone wanted to adapt the Happy Face podcast into some kind of series is that it's a great log line, right? It's very kind of Silence of the Lambs, and it's like daughter of a serial killer. And when you look at the podcast, there's really nothing more there. So it may as well be a writing prompt to go in a completely different direction. But as you said, we used the real name of the serial killer and half of the name of his daughter and then make up a whole bunch of other shit. You know, why even have that serial killer be Keith Jesperson, right? Yeah. Why even do that? I can see, like, they're trying to go with the right idea. It's like, okay, here's the assignment. You know, let's just see. It's like, okay, she works on a TV show. Let's see what happens. And so they start writing stuff and send her off on a Scooby-Doo murder mystery.
Because she really did work on a TV show, right?
She did. I don't think
Dr. Oz show, I think.
Yeah. I think, you know, we probably met her.
We did.
When we went to Dr. Oz and had a meeting with
we did meet her like a long time ago.
Yeah, they're like, so you got any good true crime stuff? And we're like, no.
That's not what we do.
Did she have the same vacant, flat expression of this actress?
No.
No.
I mean,
but anyway, I think as a starting point, like, that's kind of like, okay, smart to kind of go in that direction, but I just don't know if they executed anything.
I mean, Annaleigh Ashford is a very accomplished, like, Broadway actor, and we've seen her in other things, and she's been fantastic.
Masters of Sex, Be Positive,
Yeah, and she's fantastic. And she, I don't think, was given a ton to work with here that showcased her talent, shall we say. Toby, a lot of the dialogue and a lot of the concepts here struck me as, like, 1985 era stereotypes, which I think you noticed as well.
Yeah, I think they might have thought that we'd have forgotten about all the stereotypes from back then or something. I don't know what they were thinking, but there is a lot of sort of, just for instance, there's a point at which somebody actually says about some, and I can't even remember who they're talking about, but somebody who's kind of started off being a nice kid and then kind of lost his way. The actual thing they said is lying, stealing, smoking weed, staying up till all hours of the night. It's like, what the fuck are you even talking about? And then there's this whole thing about people like thinking that like the son, like I don't even know how old he's supposed to be, like 8 or 9 year old, has bad blood.
Yeah.
Because his grandfather was a serial killer.
So you can't play with him anymore.
People can't play with him anymore because he has bad blood.
But he also wields a mean pizza cutter.
That doesn't even sound like 1980s. That sounds like 1750 or something.
Yeah. And they kept asking Melissa, do you think you're like him? No.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's so weird. It's like it does kind of feel like, and again, I realize I fall back on this, like somebody plugs stuff into AI. But it does feel like some AI bot was trained on a different era of TV and movies and then like kind of spits out these kind of attitudes, which it's just, I can't imagine being in a conversation and somebody saying, oh, that kid's got bad blood. His grandfather did this.
Yeah.
I feel like you're out of your mind. Where you come from?
So Laura, something else was thrown into the algorithm in making this, and that was some teen drama.
Oh, yes.
The daughter in particular learns that her grandfather is a serial killer and tries to leverage that to become more popular at school, leading to the bullies who were bullying her more, but pretending to be her friend.
But not about her big bush.
It was like they added a little Mean Girls aspect. It's true.
What did you call me? Queenie?
Short for Queen Harry Bush. Later.
They added a little Mean Girls aspect into the input so they could get this output. Do you think that worked?
Yeah. And Kevin, this totally explains why my Facebook algorithm just started giving me like, don't shave your vagina. Use this instead to remove unwanted hair. I'm like, why am I getting these ads?
Don't blame
because I was
me.
watching this show.
Don't blame me. No.
I was watching this show.
Your Facebook overheard Queen Bush and that was that?
So, yeah, I was like, I feel like we're leaning into all the stereotypes around true crime in this show. Again, it's like the AI was like, what else? Oh, teenage murderinos. And there's one handsome boy with hair that's kind of dramatically pulled back and the other girls. But the girl who was an outsider, she has the pictures, but he has the PayPal account. So now they might connect. And then when they go to like the hotel, the like abandoned hotel, and they're like, "You're so stupid. There's no room 17." And she's like, "What's this?"
And then she calls her serial killer grandfather for help instead of
I need help.
calling her dad.
I was like, what the fuck is Grandpa going to do? And they send this guy who looks like the guy from like Schitt's Creek, who's like the mayor of the town, who shows up in this like shitty old car.
Chris Elliott. I don't get why there was no signal to get an Uber, but she could call her grandfather's burner phone in fucking prison.
Well, she's spending all her money on the burner phone. But I felt like that whole side plot, like one of the things I started yelling at the TV towards the end of this, when I was just like really frustrated with the Melissa character, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where's your family? Where's your kids? Where's your husband? And she's just out, I'm in another bar. I need a drink. And I'm like, but your kid is at a hotel looking in room 17 for trophies that your father left there. The problem is all of this to me felt like so not real that I couldn't connect to any of it. It just was like, I'm like, oh.
Well, guess what? It is scripted and not real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was so true. I don't know. I was like, yeah.
Let me tell you the archetype I hate, the stereotype, the trope that I hate that I see over and over and over again in these things, okay? A woman gets busy doing shit that could actually change her life. She gets real busy, and all of a sudden, the home fires become like a raging flame of mess, and she's neglecting her family. And what are you doing? Focus on us.
Can I say, I just love how Ben was this loving father and husband until the second he had to take care of the kids and himself. All by himself. Like, oh, I got to do the laundry.
Too much.
Yeah. And did anybody really think for 1 second he was going to get that promotion?
No.
As soon
By
as
the way, in real life, she ended up divorcing the first husband. So they got divorced in real life.
Oh, okay.
I saw that on Wikipedia.
Does that have anything to do with this actual show? Because apparently nothing else does.
No, but I thought it was going somewhere because this husband's obviously fake. And Kevin, nobody thought he was getting that promotion.
No,
well, especially, I thought he might be getting some when the neighbor lady came over with some wine, but that didn't even materialize.
Well, I was thinking, like, could it have been so bad? The situation is so dire that the split second he has the opportunity to sleep with the neighbor that he hadn't even thought about that was going to happen. It's like, oh, it might. But he did hold out a little while longer before he said, don't be surprised if things are different when you come home.
And guess what? When she came home, they weren't different. They were the same.
No, they were the same.
What are you going to do? Toby, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, this is the second straight shitty show we've watched where the husband loses his job or loses the promotion or whatever. It's like, it's pretty typical.
Remind the audience what the other one was.
The Annaleigh Grace, whatever that thing.
Good American Family.
Yeah. And then he doesn't tell her.
Well, it's not his fault Circuit City laid him off. Just closed down all the stores.
Can you imagine you're going for financial advice to say to your financial advisor, hey, how am I doing? Is my money earning enough money? Wait, is your wife a serial killer's daughter?
Yeah.
Forget it. I'm not going to invest with you anymore.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that you earned me 11% last year and you seem really good at your job. You have bad in-law blood,
I'd like to talk about my 401k, Mr. Dahmer. Wait a minute.
Hey, you'll never get bad financial advice on our Patreon, though.
No, because we don't give it.
No, we don't.
Well, sometimes we do, actually.
We do? Oh,
yeah.
like Married with Podcasts.
Yeah, so if you want to find out more about all of our hot takes that you can't get here, a good place to go is patreon.com/Partners in Crime Media, where we all offer up exclusive content for you to consume. One of the things that we all do together is the Crime Writers on After Show. If you join us at the leading off level, that's one of the exclusive podcasts you get. This week, we are going to talk about Laura's trip to Cocaine Island, which when she was going to Puerto Rico, is like, you can't say all of Puerto Rico is Cocaine Island, but there was actually a literal Cocaine Island, and you visited there.
Yep.
Where I didn't see cocaine, I saw cats and cocks.
And what? Okay,
Chickens.
save it.
Chickens.
Say that again.
I guarantee
Cats
she
and
means
cocks.
chickens. I guarantee she means chickens.
Yeah, she's nodding in a way that
She
I
was
don't actually
tracking
believe.
cats on Cocaine Island.
Yeah.
I was.
Okay, I was going to say the word pussy, but I'm just going to leave it.
Leave it.
You guys started it. Other exclusive podcasts include Married with Podcasts, the Advice Podcast, where we might say, sure, invest in Canadian marijuana farms. It might really work out. Toby Ball's Deep Dive Book Club podcast, and Rebecca's Readathon. It's all about the Karen Reed trial that's ongoing. Rebecca, it's hard to talk about any one thing at any given time because this is such a moving target, and this trial is moving so much faster.
Yep.
But how are the prosecution witnesses doing?
Shitty. Next question.
All right. If you join us at the Bricker scale level, you can get another exclusive podcast. It's Laura's Leave It to Bricker podcast. As we know, Laura Bricker is a certified pet detective. But once in a while, she has to use her own skills to find her own cat. What happened to Zelda?
Zelda made a great break for it. When the screen blew out in my house, the boy cats came back. Zelda took off. It was pretty scary. She was gone almost a week, and I had to put the whole neighborhood in on the case, and people are still talking about it.
Yeah, they're talking about it because you went around peeking in people's windows and smearing, what was it, cod liver oil or something all over the place?
Sardines. I was doing a trail of sardines back to my house.
It's worth joining just to get this crazy
What
thing.
happened to the sardines after? That's what I want to know.
It's news you can use. It's helpful information. Well, I don't know, but I haven't seen those neighbors since, and I'm hoping the ones that I put under their porch
now there's
didn't realize.
10 million raccoons living in their house.
What's that smell outside our porch?
Threw a bunch of sardines under someone else's.
Oh, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. If you join us at the Let's Do What We Do level, you get episodes of Crime Writers on early and ad-free. You'd already know if we were thumbs up or thumbs down on this episode.
I can't tell where we're going with this.
And if you're a deep diver, you can watch Toby and his guests talk about the books on the deep dive. And the latest one, Toby, you guys talked about the book American Prison.
Yeah, we did. It was myself and Sarah D. Bunting and Barbara O'Brien. And it was a really interesting book. It's really well written.
Seems a little bleak.
Well, it's about for-profit prisons, which are not a freaking laugh riot in the best of times.
But a good financial investment.
Very interesting book.
Now, those are some great ways that you can support us. Remember that your subscriptions are not only do you get a whole lot of stuff. In fact, you got more than 24 episodes in April.
Of just the readathon?
No. 22 of them.
There's like almost 100 episodes of the readathon now. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty intense. But other ways that, you can support us is just follow us on the socials. We're on TikTok now, and we are on Instagram and YouTube. And, check out all of our videos and other art stuff. And join us on Facebook at the official Crime Writers on Facebook discussion group. Just search for it. You'll find it. And, that ends the business section.
I'll go ahead and get back to the show. What do you think?
Good idea.
So, Kevin.
Yes.
Who's the sponsor for this episode of Crime Writers On?
Oh, we welcome a new sponsor. It's Rula Health.
Ooh.
Finding the right mental health care should be simple and affordable, but for many, it is not. You got long wait times and high costs, and so that means like finding the right provider, it can really make getting help feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so that's where Rula comes in. Rula connects you with in-network licensed therapists that accept most major insurance, right? So it has been a very trying time for many people.
Yes.
And I always say, you don't maybe necessarily want to take everything that you're feeling
and put it on Facebook in a post?
Yeah, or tell your sister who's going to go because she might be the problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you really want to talk to a professional, find somebody that you're comfortable with. That's where Rula comes in. They partner with a network of over 10,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, enabling you to find your personalized solution and the right therapist for you based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements. So every therapist is carefully vetted, so you are in expert hands. And for the in-network covered care for most major insurances, you pay for as little as $15 per session.
Wow. So join the thousands who have already turned to Rula for support on their journey to better mental health and well-being. Getting started is so easy. Just visit rula.com/CWO.
CWO.
Today. That's RULA.com/CWO.
CWO.
To connect with a licensed therapist who truly cares. Your mental health matters. Individual costs depend on your insurance and deductible. Kevin.
Yes, Rebecca.
Who's the next sponsor for this program?
Okay, we're brought to you by our friends at Hello Fresh.
Hello Fresh.
Hola Fresco. That's what you used to say all the time.
I know, hola Fresco.
Yeah, so fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That is what spring is all about. Mm-hmm. You just open up the deck here. We got that little picnic place to sit. Need to have
You mean my sophisticated outdoor table? Kevin?
Yeah. So we need to make some stuff quick. Bring it right out there. HelloFresh makes it easy for those home-cooked meals. They take no time at all.
Plate it up beautifully.
They've got great recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout.
Yum.
As well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. Well, the final kid, we kicked him out.
Yes. We're empty nesters now.
Yeah, we didn't really kick him out, but it was time to go. And
he moved across town.
So you know what that means? An adjustment to the meal plan,
Yes.
which was so very easy to do at HelloFresh. Plus, they're also able to get us, items that we can take a little more time to make, but on the nights when we're recording,
Boom. Nice meal.
nice meal.
Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/CWO10FM.
CWO10FM.
Right now to get 10 free
10
meals
free meals.
with
yeah.
a free item for life. That's HelloFresh.com/CWO10FM. One free item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. So, Kevin,
Yes.
there's one scene where Melissa gets interviewed by her boss
On television.
Actually, there's two scenes, but the first scene where she's interviewed by her boss on television, and she makes this revelation, and the crowd goes, "Oh!" What were your thoughts about that whole scene?
Well, I like Annaleigh Ashford as an actress. Like you said, she's best when she's got a sassy role or something like that. And I think this actually was like one of the good sequences in this whole series. This interview with Dr. Greg from the TV, soundstage in Seattle.
Fun fact about Dr. Greg, he's now running the Department of Health and Human Services.
Perfect.
Not really.
Not really. But I did feel like, after this scene where Dr. Greg went a little rough on the staff makeup artists on live television or on taped television, that HR was going to have to come in later and smooth some of this out.
Yeah.
It was a little rough.
That taught you that you were unworthy of love. Because your father didn't love you enough not to kill women. That taught you that you are stupid.
Do you think you're like him?
But you deserve it. You deserve to be happy or whatever.
Yeah.
And I will say that I think Ashford is good in that scene. But what ends up happening is like they continue to write very redundant scenes where she is struggling with her emotions. She can't top that one, right? That's sort of like, I don't want to say the best one, but that's the most impactful one. And so then you end up getting a whole bunch of other ones where, again, she's at the verge of tears because of this or different things that have happened. And they just all, kind of fall flat.
Yeah. Toby, what'd you think when Ash shows up at their house and hangs out with their kid in the backyard? I think Ash was the son of her dad's dead girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up and he's hanging out with their little kid and then with his dirty dog. And then she comes home and he's banging out the window. What did you think about that whole sequence?
Well, it's a whole, I wouldn't say story arc. It's more like a line because there's two scenes, but he shows up and he's all pissed off, but I don't think you really know who he is at first. And he sort of knocks on the door and is hanging out.
He's a dirty drifter, Toby. He's a dirty drifter.
Well, yeah.
With a loving dog.
And then so you get to this thing where Melissa comes home and, she can't find her son. And then it turns out her son's hanging out with the dog. And who's the dog? And it's like, oh, it's your buddies. And then Ash comes around the corner and starts freaking out and banging on the window or whatever. And they call the cops. And it's all kind of ridiculous. And you're like, okay, that's enough. But then later, when her world is kind of falling apart around her, her thought apparently is, well, maybe I should go and talk to Ash about this. And like finds him in some campground or encampment or something.
You mean in a van down by the river she finds him?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
And
they hug it out.
Yeah, but it's just so, it's one of those things where it's like they're talking. And then he goes on, and I don't know if this is verbatim or not, but essentially he gives this little monologue about what's happened to him. He changed his name to Apollo for some reason. He did drugs. He, quote, woke up in different countries. And
How
then
does one do that exactly?
I don't know. It seems very strange. He doesn't go into any more detail about it. At one point, he does talk about waking up in Mexico because his dead mom gave him a call.
It's also surprised he was surrounded by people who didn't speak English because it was fucking Mexico.
Yeah.
It's more like, no, you didn't speak Spanish.
Again, it's so fucking bad. And it's like something from a different, like maybe that was edgy in 1958, but now it just sort of plays out as cliched and lame. And then he says, and this is a quote, pain doesn't go away.
But you learn to live with it. Let it scab over. Every once in a while, something gets you. Like you going on TV. And sometimes it's like walking into a fucking Walmart.
Oh my God. Never go into Walmart.
Too many happy faces, right?
Fucking everywhere.
It sounds like, you know what? It sounds like an Advil commercial.
Exactly. Well, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe they could.
It's easier to live with if you use Advil.
Yeah. So this is just like a microcosm of the whole thing. It's like pretty stupid, doesn't make much sense, a lot of cliches. And then in the end, like while the family is falling apart, she's having drinks with this guy. Her husband is drinking and having a confrontation with not one, but two different prison guards at a local drinking establishment while the kids hang out in a hotel room all by themselves.
Grandma. Who's in that
Grandma?
now?
Don't forget Grandma.
And the pool floaties.
Yeah.
Laura, what did you think about this plot that Ben has to exact revenge on Keith Jesperson for intruding into his family life and starting to like get a little his claws into his daughter and so forth?
So that was, I think, out of the various subplots in the show, I think that's one of the least believable ones based on the character arc.
On a scale of believability in this show?
Well, like, let's look at that character. Let's look at what that character does. He's just like the milquetoast guy. He does nothing. He's like, okay, look, I'm handsome. Oh, I love my wife. Oh, you don't want to talk about this, but now you do? Okay. Like, he does nothing. Can't get his promotion at work. He can't do anything. He can't even get it on with the neighbor lady. And then the next thing you know, he's like putting out a hit on somebody. And not only putting out a hit on somebody, but sending text messages on his phone where you can very easily
signal.
be. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I just was like, so we went from this character who basically has no backbone, no spine, nothing interesting about his character at all, to now he's suddenly putting out a hit on somebody.
Yeah.
And then he has like this crisis of conscience. He's like, no, don't kill him.
Yeah. I threw up. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I'm so sad.
By the way, he looks just like Greg Brady. Kevin, we know him from something else, right?
He was in Mad Men.
That's right.
He was Bob.
Famous line in Mad Men.
You guys watch Mad Men?
I did.
Yeah, remember when Pete's mom went on the cruise and then she fell overboard? And I think somehow Bob had something to do with putting her on the cruise. And Pete confronts him in the elevator. And he's like, Pete, how are you? And Pete says, not great, Bob.
Oh, that's what that's from?
That's where that's from.
That's where the not great Bob is from.
I also had one more question about the husband.
Yeah.
The other part that was least believable. So when he actually goes out and like figures out that the daughter is like making phone calls and figures out like the daughter is talking to the grandfather, how exactly, if you have a burner phone, is your dad able to look it up on the family plan and see that you're making phone calls?
Bingo.
Damn.
That was a really stupid inconsistency.
Oh, you mean a plot
I was
hole?
like, I have a burner phone for work. It doesn't go on the family plan.
Nope.
I'm like, so wait a minute. What, did she get a secret phone that she added to the family plan? Like, that just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't want to pay for the line charges.
It's unlimited text.
So, Kevin, this series does try to make an ethical statement of some kind.
It's trying to say something about true crime. I don't know if it's anything original. I don't know if it's anything introspective. This just isn't heretical enough to make a difference. It isn't the true crime thing that's like going to be iconoclastic and like, but we're going to be anti-true crime. We're going to serve up a true crime kind of story, but also talk about the dangers of true crime or something like that. It just doesn't do it. I mean, all these things that we're talking about, Ash and his life story, he's all fucked up. Melissa's all fucked up. Ben ends up being collateral damage. All these people with their, I mean, we didn't even get into the whole Elijah and the open mic night.
Oh, and the justice system in Texas, where a guy would 100% in court not be like, I was wrong. Never in a million fucking years would a judge do that and a prosecutor do that at the same time in Texas.
After the guy goes all the way to Texas to sort of bribe somebody to say, now he sees the error of his ways. Yeah. I mean, it's trying to say something. Even to the part where, you're right, they talk about the murderinos and they go to a museum in Seattle that's dedicated to murder. You're like, oh, the drawings, the shit-ass drawings that your grandfather does with markers, like, make a lot of money here.
Yeah.
It just, again, it's trying to say something, but I don't really know if it accomplishes that. It doesn't accomplish a lot of what it sets out to do.
Yeah. So Melissa turns out to be quite the detective, Toby, and she's aided by some very obvious clues, which I don't know if I would have been able to put together after my not stepmother said the exact shade of lipstick she wears from one little place in the entire country, which, by the way, is not a fucking thing. Bespoke lipstick. Maybe it's a thing, but it's not a thing. Toby, what do you think of that fact that they were able to put together that Keith Jesperson actually faked all of the evidence that it makes him look like he killed that woman in Texas.
So much of the actual detecting and like finding evidence is so ludicrous. Starting with like the happy face that's carved in the tree that they just happen to be looking at of all the trees in this town. They happen to be looking at this one that's got a happy face on it, to this thing where you have a scene where Keith's girlfriend is talking at length about this special nail polish she has. And the whole time you're thinking, it's like, okay, well, this is obviously something's going to happen with this nail polish because there's no way you're going to spend all this time on it. Lipstick, whatever the fuck it is, makeup, and
girl stuff.
And then, it just turns out that her bespoke, what is it? Nail polish? Lipstick. Her bespoke lipstick, that happens to be the thing that falls out of her purse when she puts it down while she's at the house of Elijah's sister.
Seems like it'd be the only thing that she would miss.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that really points to her, definitely. Like, it could have been like a little mini pack of Kleenexes, and then where would we be?
Yeah.
And then there's the whole, they're trying to find the guitar at one point that Heather used, but in fact, it was like destroyed, except for the one part that's got the incriminating little carving in it, which has been repurposed as a tap at this bar because the actual person who murdered her wanted to be able to confront himself with it every day.
That's right.
As some kind of penance. And somehow she managed to figure that out. But at the exact time that the bar was empty and that she somehow got into it, and then he came in. Just in time to confess to her.
You're not supposed to be here.
While she's recording on her iPhone.
Yes.
Sometimes you say things are like Scooby-Doo and they're only a little bit like Scooby-Doo. This is exactly like Scooby-Doo, except that he doesn't rip off a mask.
The mask would be like, it's Mr. Jones from the Quarry.
That's right.
It totally is. It's like it was the bartender the whole time.
If it wasn't for you meddling TV makeup artists.
I don't know. If you remember how that scene ended, I did think he took his face off.
That's true.
That's true.
Just like in
he exposed the inside of his brain,
who he really was.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Laura, so Kevin was talking about the statements that the show tries to make. I think it tries to make a statement on the nature of media around true crime. I mean, except that there's some really weird thing going on where the producer, whose idea all of this was and who drives everything that's happening, remains a producer while Melissa gets to be the face of the brand new segment on Dr. Greg. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, that was just, playing into the trope of, that particular character's story arc. But I feel like they missed the mark on so many things they could have made a statement about: wrongful convictions, race in the justice system, the way that our fascination with true crime fuels true crime media in a way that often doesn't actually take the real story into account, but takes the story that's good for the ratings into account. The young people that are involved in this and their interest in true crime and how that populates their day-to-day life. There was so many things in this that they could have made a statement on, but the show was just so flat throughout that if there was a statement, I didn't see it. I just found myself being like, well, that was a missed opportunity. But I feel like there were places where they're like, oh yeah, we should do this thing where, yeah, the person that works really hard doesn't get the job because the person that has pretty blonde hair and has a catchy serial killer daddy gets to be the person that pulls in our ratings. But it just didn't connect for me.
She had a good red lip, though. I have to say that. But Kevin, we do know that Dr. Oz, for a while at least, did have a true crime segment on the show. And we see that story arc here where they're going to do a different kind of true crime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, as they're building up in that last scene about like, what's new for you? And she's spitting it out. I'm going to say, oh, fuck. Because she's going to say podcast. Making a great podcast. I'm going to call it Happy Face. But she says, we're going to do it different. We're going to bring like stories that you don't usually hear. I'm like, hey, thanks for fixing that, Melissa.
Yeah, fixed it. Solved it.
Great.
Incredible.
Summer's here, and with weekend getaways, celebrations, and more on your calendar, Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From playful prints and breezy fabrics to 70s-inspired looks and bright handbags, Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Reformation, Veronica Beard, Farm Rio, Levi's, and more. It's easy too, with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Plus, Nordy Club members enjoy free 2-day shipping on thousands of items in select areas. Shop today in stores and at Nordstrom.com.
Kevin, who's the next sponsor for this program?
Oh, we're brought to you by our friends at Quince.
My best friends at Quince, you mean?
Yeah, look, we've been talking about sweaters, but now as the temperatures climb, it's easy to fall into the same old routine. Those familiar tank tops, worn-in shorts, worn-out shorts. The usual lineup, but Quince offers an effortless upgrade, elevated, easy prices that instantly refine the everyday uniform without the extra effort. So Quince is able to provide at great prices, couture, items that look great when you're out walking around. But Rebecca, you like the stuff that Quince offers that nobody gets to see.
That's right. Kevin, I just got some underwear from Quince, and it is rad. And it was so inexpensive. It was like a pack of underwear for like a really low price. I also did order a linen shirt, by the way. But the underwear is spectacular. It's got 5-star reviews for a reason. I endorse it personally.
Yeah, but don't forget, you still can get great things for the summer, like European linen shorts and dresses
and shirts.
$30. Italian leather platform sandals.
Nice.
And so much more. And they cut out the middleman so they can pass the savings on to you.
Hell yeah. Treat your closet to a little summer glow up with Quince. Go to quince.com/crime for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/crime to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/crime.
Airwick Essential Mist Diffuser transforms your space, creating your perfect ambiance with a wide range of inviting fragrances that make your guests go... Oh. Airwick Essential Mist Diffuser's easy-to-change refills allow you to choose your perfect fragrance for any occasion, like lush honeysuckle and raspberry, and vibrant island coconut and warm sands. And if guests start shifting from the table to the couches, no worries. It's perfectly portable and cordless. Airwick Essential Mist Diffuser, always inviting.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
All right, let's do what we do. Let's let our listeners know, should they check out the TV series Happy Face? Laura Bricker, thumbs up or thumbs down for Happy Face?
Yeah, this is a thumbs down. I was like, oh, Happy Face. I think we hated that podcast. Maybe the TV show will be better. No, this was 8 episodes. This could have been a 90-minute dramatized story that they didn't need to base on the Happy Face killer, because none of this actually really, in my opinion, followed anything from a case that felt super relevant or like anything that I was going to connect with. They had people in this that are legitimate actors. The writing and the way that this was set up, the characters were very two-dimensional. It was very flat. There was nobody that I really felt like I could get behind. Like Dennis Quaid was kind of like a caricature of the Joker in the Batman movies. And in the end, I just was like, please make this suffering end. Is this ever going to end? And it's unfortunate because they got 8 episodes. They could have done something good with it. For me, I just felt like there was so many stereotypes and things that they wrote into this script that were so overdone in a way that just didn't feel relatable or like something that you were actually invested in. And there was just a lot of really stupid plot lines. I mean, I hate to use the word stupid, but there was a lot of really stupid plot lines in this. So this is a big thumbs down from me.
Toby Ball, thumbs up or thumbs down for Happy Face?
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. It's just not good. I mean, sometimes we review things that aren't good, but you could see like somebody maybe watching it for the camp value or something. I think Good American Family might have been like that a little bit. This is just, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing that you can kind of laugh at. It's cliched, but it's not even cliched in a new way. It's cliches from a long freaking time ago. The plot doesn't make much sense. The actual mechanics of the investigation are dumb. The way things are revealed to you are not creative. The acting, I think, is like probably a little bit better than the actual show deserves. Now that I think about it, I'm trying to think of something positive to say. So anyway, this is like really, really bad. And I would not recommend anybody watch it, even as punishment. I don't think it would be fair. So thumbs down.
Kevin Flynn.
I mean, I think I like this more than the rest of you guys. And I fucking hated this. Whereas sometimes dramatized versions of these things can reveal human truths that you can dramatize, but you can't like pull out of a documentary. This really didn't do anything close to that. Perhaps it's because there's so little that was memorable about the Happy Face podcast other than the log line. And this might have been the best one to do a fresh start with because so few podcasts have had so little to offer. But they decide to go in a direction that, all right, we're just going to start with a blank slate and do a Scooby-Doo mystery with it. And it just comes up with a lot of flat characters, a lot of uninspired things to say about true crime and the people around it. It wasn't interesting at all. It didn't really hold my attention. Characters' motivations, I still have no idea why the serial killer did what he did, why any of the people in Texas were doing what they did, why any of the high school mean girls kind of did what they did. I just don't get any of it. It just wasn't written well. I like what Toby said, in a world of possibilities, didn't make good use of any of them. And so it's not as bad as the Happy Face podcast, but it seems like they were trying to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a thumbs down, by the way.
Okay. So, Kevin, what happens when an election denier, a Broadway star, and Timu Greg Brady walk into a bar?
They solve a murder?
No, you get a super shitty TV show.
Oh, you get a super
There's
shitty
one thing I liked about this show.
Yeah.
I really like the set design of the house they lived in. I love that mid-century split level style. And
I liked their windows.
Gorgeous house. And the house was mentioned like too many times. It's like, you have the husband, you have the house. I'm like, I just want the house. It's the only thing I want from this whole thing is the house. There were honestly a couple moments watching this where I was like a little bit entertained and then it would be ruined like in the next episode or in the next 5 minutes. And the weird thing about this series is there was like a 2-episode denouement. Like, there was this climax of, fuck it, I'm going to spoil it, getting a guy out of prison. And then there was like this 2-episode denouement after for no reason. It was almost like, oh, we need to fill the airtime. And then it had the weirdest fucking ending. Like, is there going to be a season 2 of Happy Face? Is that the plan?
I hope not.
I hope not either. But if there is, we're going to watch it and review it on this show.
Oh,
Thumbs down for me.
Don't threaten us.
Thumbs down for me for Happy Face. Now it's time for my favorite part of the podcast, a little something I like to call the Crime of
the Week.
A Lexington, Kentucky woman got a question mark of a delivery from Amazon. 70,000 dumb lollipops. It seems like Holly Lefever's 8-year-old son got a hold of her phone and ordered more than 24 cases of the treats. She first noticed the purchase when $4,000 vanished from her bank account. She tried in vain to cancel the order, but the stacks and stacks of pops made it to her home anyway. Mom says she's no sucker. Her son wanted to plan a carnival for his friends and give them all lollipops. She said he was being sweet, but probably overestimated how many dum-dums a bunch of second graders could consume. After the story hit the local news, Amazon agreed to take the treats back. So panel, it's always a danger when little ones get a hold of the phone and start shopping. What surprising purchase did your kids make? Laura Bricker.
Well, seeing as how my phone is never out of my hand, my kid never made any purchases. And he was young in the era pre-Alexa, so he wasn't even able to have Alexa order anything.
Nice. What about you, Toby? Have your kids ever made any unexpected purchases?
They haven't, although if they did, I think it would either be Pokemon cards or some like palatial cat, gymnastics thing.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Kevin?
Well, that hasn't happened to us, but there was this time.
It did happen to us.
Hold on. Okay, you can tell the one you're thinking of. The one I'm thinking of is we were on a cruise.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, yeah. And this is where, like, you get, like, a little card and you can, like, put what?
Beverages
that happened to us, too.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Well, one of the kids found out there was an arcade on the ship. and just kept playing.
$90 a day.
That happened to me. I forgot about that.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, Will did that when we went on a cruise, and I was like, what the fuck?
But you know what?
And he's like, no, I'm winning tokens.
Okay, that's going to do it for us. Laura Bricker, if folks want to follow you online, how can they find you there?
You can find me at Laura Bricker on Blue Sky and Instagram.
What about you, Toby? How can you be found?
At Toby Ball NH on the Blue Sky.
And Kevin Flynn.
I'm Kevin P. Flynn.
You can find me everywhere at Reb Lavoie. You can find me on Blue Sky for life and interesting takes. You can find me on Twitter for just Karen Reed takes almost exclusively. I'm also on Instagram. You can follow the show everywhere at Crime Writers On, including X, YouTube, Blue Sky, and TikTok. But mostly I encourage you to join our incredible community in our official Crime Writers On Facebook group. We've got a page, and there's a link there to join the group. Get episodes early and ad-free at patreon.com/partnersincrimemedia. There you'll get all the other stuff we make for Patreon and Kevin. There's like almost 1,000 episodes back there now.
Yes, that's right. Well, more like 800, but
it's
okay.
wild. Well, high three figures of episodes.
Yeah, high figures.
Our theme song was composed and performed by Tyler Gibbons, and our editor is the wonderful Liv Burdett. The EP of this show is Kevin Flynn. This show was recorded in Studio C, the closet in our New Hampshire basement, where we also sell Grandpa's murder art on eBay. On behalf of all the crime writers, thanks so much for listening. We will catch you later. You know what other surprise purchases one of our kids made?
What?
Weed. Remember we found the weed?
I don't, but...
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, totally. I was like, surprise!
Partners in Crime Media.
Airwick Essential Mist Diffuser transforms your space, creating your perfect ambiance with a wide range of inviting fragrances that make your guests go... Oh. Airwick Essential Mist Diffuser's easy-to-change refills allow you to choose your perfect fragrance for any occasion, like lush honeysuckle and raspberry, and vibrant island coconut and warm sands. And if guests start shifting from the table to the couches, no worries. It's perfectly portable and cordless. Airwick Essential Mist Diffuser, always inviting.